Welcome to another episode of Grade 7 Halina't Matuto sa Dasmariñas North National High School TV. I am your teacher lecturer for today, Ma'am Donna Esplana, which will be teaching you the properties of equations and inequalities. You are expected to, Lesson 1, identify and apply the properties of equation. Lesson 2, identify and apply the properties of inequality. Have a short review of what equations are. So equations are mathematical sentences that show two equal expressions. The left side of the equation must be equal to the right side of the equation. An equation may either be true or false. So example 1, we have 8 plus 2 equals 10. So this is a true equation since 8 plus 2 is really 10. Another example 2, so we have 3x plus 5 equals 20. So this is an equation which can be either be true or false depending on the value of x. So there is only one value of x that will make the equation true. Inequalities. So inequalities are mathematical sentences that shows two unequal quantities. So one might be greater or lesser than the other. So example, we have 5 is greater than 1. Another, we have 2x plus 1 is less than 10. So this inequality may either be true or false depending on the value of x. More than one value of x can make the inequality true. We have here an example of equation. So we have 4 plus 1 is equal to 3 plus 2. So the left side of the equation shows that we have 4 plus 1. And then at the right side of the equation, we have 3 plus 2. So we have here a figure which is a pan balance. A pan balance is a visual representation we use to show an equation. So when the weight on both sides of a pan is balanced, the pan balance is said to be equal. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 on the left side, and then 3 plus 2 is also equal to 5 on the right side of the pan balance. So the pan balance is said to be level. So now let us replace 5 with a visual representation. So we have 5 yellow boxes on the left side, and we also have 5 orange boxes on the right side of the pan balance. So 5 is equal to 5. Would the pan balance remain level if we add 6 more boxes to the left side? What do you think? Notice that the pan balance is heavier on the left side. And 5 plus 6 will not give us an answer of 5. So what might we add to the right side of the pan to make it level again? So we added 6 more boxes on the right side of the pan to make it balanced. So we have 5 plus 6 equals 11, and we also have 5 plus 6 is also equal to 11. So that is an example of addition property of equality, or the APE. So if we add the same number to both sides of an equation, the equation will remain true. So if A is equal to B, then A plus C is also equal to B plus C. So in our examples, on the left side of the figure, so we have 4 plus 1 equals 3 plus 2, which give us 5 equals 5. So adding 6 more boxes on the left side and adding 6 more boxes on the right side, we have 11 boxes on both sides of the equation. What will happen if we double the amount on the left side of the pan balance? So we have 4 equals 4. And then on the right side of the figure, what have you noticed? So the pan balance is also heavier on the left side. We do to fix this. So we have to double the amount on the right side. Example of multiplication property of equality or the MPE. So to keep an equation balanced, we must multiply both sides of the equation by the same value. So if A equals B, then A times C equals B times C. So in our example, so we have 4 equals 4, and then 4 times 2 equals 4 times 2, which gives us 8 equals 8. So we both multiply the both sides of the equation by 2. And then we also have reflexive property of equality. So any number or expression is equal to itself. So we have A equals A. So in our example, we have 8 yellow boxes on the left side and 8 orange boxes on the right side, which is 8 equals 8. The fourth property is the symmetric property of equality. So the sides of the equation can be interchanged. If A times B is equal to C times D, then C times D is also equal to A times B. So for example, we have 1 plus 1 equals 2. Similarly, we also have 2 is equal to 1 plus 1. So the fifth property is the transitive property of equality or the TPE. If two equations are equal to a third quantity, then they are equal to each other. So if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. So for example, we have 4 plus 2 equals 6 and 6 equals 3 plus 3, and then we can say that 4 plus 2 is also equal to 3 plus 3. The sixth property is the substitution property of equality. If A equals B, then either A or B may be substituted into any algebraic expression or equation for the other. So for example, we have if x is equal to 2 and x plus 5 equals 7, then 2 plus 5 equals 7. Let's have some examples. What property is being illustrated in each situation? So number one, the left part is similar to the right part of the human body. What do you think is the answer? Yes, the answer is symmetric property. Next, number two, standing in front of the mirror and seeing the exact image of you. What do you think? Yes, correct. The answer is reflexive property. Number 3. John's height is the same as Micah. If John is 150 centimeters, then Micah must be 150 centimeters too. What do you think is the answer? Yes, the answer is transitive property. How about number 4? Rosie has a sister named Maxima, but Maxima has a sister named Grace. Then Rosie has a sister named Grace too. What do you think is the property applied here? Yes, correct. The answer is transitive. So next we have the properties of inequality. So we have number 1, the axiom of comparison. So it means that only one of the following can be true. So A equals B, A is less than B, and A is greater than B. So for example, 5 is equal to 5, 5 is less than 6, and 9 is greater than 5. Second property of inequality is the transitive property of inequality. So if A is less than B and B is less than C, then A is less than C. So for example, we have 7 less than 8 and 8 is less than 10, so we can say that 7 is less than 10. And then another, if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then A is greater than C. So for example, 7 is greater than 5 and 5 is greater than 4. So we can say that 7 is greater than 4. So the third property of inequality is the addition property of inequality or the API. So adding or subtracting a number to both sides of the inequality will still leave the inequality true. So if A is less than B, then A plus C is less than B plus C. For example, we have 4 is less than 5, 4 plus 1 is less than 5 plus 1, and then 5 is less than 6. So adding 1 to both sides of the inequality will still leave the inequality true. And then we have the fourth property, which is the multiplication property of inequality or the MPI. So we can multiply C to both sides of the inequality and the inequality will still be true. So if A is less than B and C is greater than 0, then A times C is less than B times C. So for example, we have 2 is less than 3 and 2 times 2 is less than 3 times 2. So we have 4 is less than 6. So multiplying 2 to the both sides of the inequality and then the inequality will still be true. So we can also multiply C to both sides of the inequality, but we need to change the inequality sign. So if A is less than B and C is less than 0, then A times C is greater than B times C. So for example, we have 2 is less than 3, and then we have 2 times negative 2 is less than 3 times negative 2. So we have negative 4 is greater than negative 6. So multiplying both sides of inequality by negative 2, so we have to change the inequality sign from less than to greater than. Do you have any questions? Okay, so again, so we have the properties of equality. So we have the addition property of equality or the APE, multiplication property of equality or MPE, reflexive property of equality, symmetric property of equality, transitive property of equality, and substitution property of equality. And then we also have the properties of inequality. So we have the axiom of comparison, transitive property of inequality, addition property of inequality, multiplication property of inequality. So let us have some examples. What property is being illustrated by each example? Number 1. If x plus 5 is equal to 4, then x plus 3 is equal to 2. What do you think is the property used? Yes, the property used is addition property of equality. So what do you think is the number added to both sides of the equation to make the statement true? Yes, so we added negative 2 to both sides of the equation to have x plus 3 equals 2. Next, we have the second example. If x is equal to 10, then 2x is equal to 20. What do you think is the property being applied here? Yes, so the answer is the multiplication property of equality. So we multiplied 2 to both sides of the equation to have 2x equals 20. And then number 3, if x minus 2 is less than 6, then x is less than 8. What do you think is the property applied? Yes, correct. The property applied is the addition property of inequality. So we added positive 2 to both sides of the inequality to have x is less than 8. How about the last example? If negative x is less than 3, then x is greater than negative 3. Yes, so the property used is the multiplication property of inequality. So we multiplied both sides of the inequality by negative 1 to have x is greater than negative 3. So that will be all for today's episode. Watch out for our next video. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe in our YouTube channel so you will always be updated with our latest video tutorials in HALINA'T MATH-TUTO.